financially unsustainable. The government can learn from its past negotiations with companies like ExxonMobil and sign deals that are short term with an option to renew and manage the terms. This advice comes from the Institute of the Americas, an independent non-profit policy center. The institute said Guyana can learn from Ghana and work to negotiate competitive terms and that do not leave the country in financial strife. Ghana had approved a gas project in 2015 under a long-term contract. That contract includes a take-or-pay clause which forces the country to pay hundreds of millions of dollars every year for unused gas. Meanwhile, the new board of GNPL has sent home its finance manager, Sean Victorine, and has called in the audit office. According to the company, which is supposed to print on behalf of the government, the official has not been cooperating to provide updates on the finances of the entity. The board said that the Auditor General, Deodat Sharma, has been written to and invited to carry out an audit by the chairman, Dexter Phillips. And moving on. If an ordinary man attempts to deposit a large sum of cash into a local bank account, he would have to endure stringent procedures with a serious line of questioning due to Guyana's strict anti-money laundering legislation. However, when PNCR member James Bond deposited $1 million into an account at a commercial bank in the city, the transaction, it would seem, triggered no red flags. This has caused questions to raise as to how many more large transactions like this have passed under the radar. We had reported that Bond pocketed the hefty sum for the sale of prime state lands leased by Nissil and Arkin Group, a company in which Bond appears to be a principal. Let's tell you now that the government has filed a lawsuit against businessman Larry Singh over his failure to honor an arms deal worth over $380 million with the GDF. According to documents electronically filed in the High Court, Attorney General Anil Nandlal, in his capacity as the state's legal representative, has asked the court to grant orders to recover over $369 million from Singh for his failure to supply arms and ammunition to the GDF. More than $150 million has already been exhausted on the Chedi Jagan International Airport renovation project. But according to the Chinese contractor, China Harbour Engineering Company, more money would be needed to ensure that it is completed per government's specifications. The company indicated that this in its revised work plan for the project that was recently submitted to the Public Works Ministry. That request, however, did not sit well with Public Works Minister Juan Edgell, who made it clear that the governing administration will be expending no further funds on the project. In other news, UK firm throws shares in Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks on US and UK stock markets. Westmount Energy Limited, a UK company that has been buying up shares in several companies with high prospective oil blocks in the Guyana-Suriname Basin, has been able to land its shares on the alternative investment market and the OTCQB market. The Alternative Investment Market, or AIM, is a submarket of the London Stock Exchange that is designed to help smaller companies access capital from the public market. AIM allows these companies to raise capital by listing on a public exchange with much greater regulatory flexibility compared to the main market. And now let's tell you, GPL says that customers attempting to buy credit for prepaid meters may experience delays. According to GPL, in a statement, as a result, GPL wishes to advise that all prepaid meter or agents should avoid multiple vends of the same transaction due to the slowness of the response. GPL explained that multiple attempts at one transaction will result in accumulation or backlog within the system and further delay response time. And coming from DPI, a new cohort of prison officers is currently being trained and initiated into the Guyana Prison Service to manage the prisons without corruption. This was disclosed by Minister of Home Affairs Robson Ben during a sideline interview after the Best Minibus Driver 2020 award ceremony at the Arthur Chong Conference Center. Minister Ben said the level of corruption involving prison officers and inmates was concerning.
And that's the news of the moment. Remember to get the full details of these stories, pick up a copy of the Kaieteur News. And don't forget, you can catch us on the MyTuner app as well as the Radio Garden app. You can also keep up to date by